I'm not saying that advice can't be good in a season, but if that becomes the fundamental, I think you're in trouble. I just do. Because you're competing against people who use that in a season, but then use other... It's a tool for a time. I don't think it's a philosophy for long-term success, fulfillment, and improvement.
I said, I can give you a list of what to do, but the truth is you're not going to do it unless you do this other thing. Can we talk about the other thing? And they said, yeah. I said, here's the truth. 0 to 10, where's your self-discipline? This is the mirror time. Because I can give you a list. It doesn't matter. You can Google how to lose weight. It doesn't matter.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, episode number 1871. The 5 things you need to align to create success and fulfillment. We were talking about this in the previous episode, and this is something I've been saying a lot more on podcasts. The reason success is so hard, and the reason fulfillment is so hard, is because it does require a strategy. And as much as there's stuff online that says you can just arrive there, and there's just a lot of stuff out there, but there is strategy. Intuitive eating, you can intuitively track your calories and your macros and work out, and you can lose weight, but intuition is honed through strategy. There's a strategy under everything, right? At the end of the day, a successful relationship, there's a strategy. Today's kind of about strategy. Remember we used to do Strategy Saturday?
Oh, yeah.
Was that a thing we did? We did that, right?
I think so. It was 5-minute clinic.
Yep.
It was
Come on.
Scratching the surface. Wait. 5-minute clinic. It was Freestyle Friday. I don't know. I've lost it.
We had 5-minute clinic.
Yep.
Small talks.
Scratching
the
Pick
surface.
Pick a word.
Today, for episode number 416, honesty. And Alan would read the freaking definition of it, and we do an episode on it.
Oh, no idea why we weren't successful.
Yeah, why aren't we successful yet? And then we did 5-minute clinic. And then we had Motivation Monday, and then we had Freestyle Friday. We've done everything.
Remember Motivation Monday used to have motivational music in the background?
I loved it. Yeah, and then we were like, that's not really what we do.
Well, we looked at the stats, and the listeners were like, nope.
Yeah, you guys didn't like it. So that's on you.
Didn't like it. So that's on you. Do you remember? We're in a giggly mood. Who is the person? You don't have to answer the who, but there was a clip that Kevin behind the scenes was frustrated with, venting about, where the guy said, you pretty much can never screw up anything that isn't meant for you.
We were about to have this person on the podcast. He has like 1.5. His name is Danny Morell. I'm just gonna say it. I don't care.
Good
Whatever.
For you.
He's very big on Instagram. We had an interview scheduled with him, and we were like an hour before. And I messaged Alan and I said, "We can't do this. We're not gonna do this. Can't do it. It's just
good for you.
We can't do it." Again,
good.
You like him, you like his content, awesome. Just not necessarily our cup of tea.
So can you go into why? Because this is about strategy. I think that was just terrible, a lack of strategy. He basically said anything that's not meant for you, anything that is meant for you, you couldn't possibly screw it up.
Dumbest shit ever.
That's like me being like, well, Emilia is meant for me, so I couldn't possibly screw this up.
Yeah.
I am the man.
It's entitled. It's like, you don't like the fact that I leave my towel on the floor? Pound sand. This is meant to be. No, I don't really care. I saw a dude on Instagram who told me this was going to work out, so I don't even care. Don't even worry about it. Leave it on the floor for all I care. I don't know. It's just, there is an unfortunate area of the internet where if you just empower and give, it's like everything you're doing is already enough. If it's meant to be, it'll be. That's really good for empowering. Again, if you're somebody who is just riding the struggle bus and you hate everything about life, that probably feels really good. I'm not saying that's not positive. That's not going to get you to the next level, though. It's not going to get you to the next level. It might get you out of the rut you're in, but I can guarantee it's going to create the next rut you're going to be in a year from today.
So one of the reasons I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because Kev's like, people love it when you tell them about them. I think one of the reasons that bothers you is because you would have fell for it way back.
Nah, I don't know. No, I remember I watched The Secret, and I was like, wait, what? wait. What? Now, again, I'm not saying the law of attraction doesn't exist, but I think there's also a law of momentum, and I think they're important to put next to each other. You can't necessarily do one without the other. So
one side of the spectrum is overly affirming.
Yeah.
And it feels really good.
The other is the Grant Cardone. If you make less than $400,000 a year, you should consider yourself a loser. That's the second dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. It's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. It's not constructive. The only thing it's meant to do is to make you feel a certain way on both ends.
Yeah,
it's like
good.
You should feel better than you feel, or you should feel worse than you feel. That's all it is.
What would be your constructive version of those two things?
Oh, God.
And we'll go into the strategy.
I said this on a podcast the other day. I said, while it may be unfortunate, the reality that I have noticed about life, and at least my life and many of those around me, is your life is not going to be any better than you are. So if you want really good results in life, you got to work really hard on being the best version of you. And how many things I've screwed up that were probably for me? So many. I've screwed up so many things that were meant for me and for me. What that did was it created the opportunities, it created the lessons, and it created the necessities to never f that up again in that way. And then on the other end, I feel like most people shouldn't make $400,000 a year because you're going to have to sacrifice all the things that you care about in order to do it. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to end up miserable. And Grant Cardone's an idiot.
The statistics, 400,000 per year globally, if it's USD, obviously, different currencies, that's top 1% of 1% right there, globally. In the US, that top 1% I think is 450, but that's in the largest economy. So you're not supposed to feel bad if you're not. That's like being like, feel terrible unless you're better than everyone else. Which makes no sense because the majority of wealth is in the hands of people 50, 60, 70, 80. Generational wealth, older. And so anyways, let's get to the strategy piece. But I really appreciate that conversation because I'm grateful that NLU believes in helping people more than we're fearful of sharing things that are going to turn people off or trigger them. However, we care more about your success and your fulfillment than we do about our own desire to never come off wrong or never turn anyone off. And I think that's really cool. I think it's taken tremendous courage, and I think as long as we do it with humility and courage and vulnerability, I think it's good. I think it's really good.
I agree. And I'm not saying I know it all because I definitely don't, but you and I both know people on both ends of those who have been preyed upon by both ends of those spectrums.
Yeah.
And that's just, what are we doing here? You know,
nice.
that's just, I don't dig that. I ain't into that.
Same. Kevin and I coach someone who anonymously is being coached and misguided by someone else, and it's been fascinating. And I don't want to step on the other coach's toes, but I also know that if I'm going to put my client's best interest first, we're going to have to candidly say, I don't agree with her. She's inaccurate. She's lying to you. She's kind of lying to you. So anyways, okay, so the strategy piece. So this is after I want to provide context. I don't want this to come off as pretentious or preachy. However, I do want to provide context. So I started mentoring 10 years ago, officially, even though I've been doing it kind of my whole life, my whole adult life anyways. I was mentoring it too. I'm kidding. My whole adult life I was kind of doing this.
Grab the bubba.
Yeah, grab it. All right, this is 1 foot here in front of the others. You just rinse and repeat. It's pretty good.
Now you're walking.
You're walking. So 10 years, though. I've been mentoring first 2 years and then coaching going to be 8. And I have a 10,000-hour tracker of podcasting. This is a struggle. Podcasting, coaching, training, and speaking. And the majority of it is coaching. More so and more so. And all different walks of life, 26 individuals right now, actually. 23 business, couple relationships. All different individuals, all different industries. Okay, so what I've come to understand is when you do this work over and 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 over again, you learn and you iterate, you improve. And you realize, okay, in hindsight over the last decade, I've pretty much been doing these. I've been helping people align these 5 things. Now, is it this simple? No. And I'm trying to make it simple enough to actually start small. Because I do have an iceberg with 22 things I assess, blah, blah, blah. But right now, these are the main 5, okay? And I did this with a client earlier. I wrote G, M, H, S, I. They each stand for something. G is goals, okay? And I play a game called green, yellow, red. Green means awesome, check mark. Yellow means align and you're coasting. It's like, it needs some work, but it's not terrible. And then red means you suck, okay, with love. Now, you're sucking. You don't suck. You're sucking. All right, so G. I was with someone earlier and I said, let's self-assess. How are we doing? How clear are you on your goals? She said, green, clearer than ever. Good, not the problem. Metrics. She said, yellow. I'm not sure we're tracking the right metrics. Okay, yellow. Boom. I don't know what that noise was. GM, and then the next one was habits. Habits. She's the best I've ever been. Boom, green. Awesome.
Give us a noise. That's habits.
I really can't, dude. I'm not the noise guy. Okay, then you've got skills. This is the one that I think a lot of people forget. So Kev is a podcaster. Okay. Goals for Kev. All right, I want this amount of podcast clients. I want this amount of podcast episodes. I want to add value to the listener, whatever. Okay, goal. Metrics. I'm going to track podcasts, episodes, other shows, plus our show, plus Podcast Growth University. Shout out. Okay, I'm going to track community members. Awesome for PGU. Podcast Growth Nation is what it's called. Your community of podcasters. Awesome. Okay. So goals, metrics done. Habits. All right. I'm going to make sure that I journal each day and get my most important tasks listed out first thing in the morning to make sure that I'm cranking. Awesome. Okay. Habits. Good. So now we're going to get to skills. One of the things that I don't think a lot of people, that probably comes off pretentious. One of the things I know a lot of people are not thinking about maybe enough is the skills. What's the difference between knowledge, skills, and attitude? A lot of people, half of success is attitude, yes, but the other half is skills. So Kev has a positive attitude. He has a great mindset. Awesome. If he sucked at podcasting, we'd be in trouble, right? Opposite is also true. If he was a great podcaster, but he had a terrible attitude and he was entitled and he sucks as a person, that also wouldn't work. So knowledge, skills, and attitude is kind of combined into that skills section. So you have to know knowledge, how to do it. You have to have a good attitude, positive mindset, attitude, growth, gratitude. And then you also need the actual skills of effective communication. If you want to be a speaker, you better be an effective communicator. And if you're not, you better work on it. So that's skills. Okay, green, yellow, red, boom. I think she said yellow on that. And then the last one is identity. Now that's the one I couldn't possibly sum up. It's what motivates you, what drives you. That's your childhood. That's your conditioning. That's your true self versus your social abandonment challenges, that kind of stuff. So this is all about you. That's the self-awareness piece. That's who are you? Why do you do what you do? What makes you tick? What are your strengths and weaknesses? I mean, that's the one that really Kevin mentioned of very rarely do people get results in life that are beyond how good they become.
I think,
and by they, I mean best version of themselves.
I think the TV show character is a really good visualization of that.
Yeah, agreed.
If you were what are 5 characters that you can imagine would be successful versus 5 that you cannot, they just don't have the identity to be the type of person that would be the level of successful that they want.
I have one example of this that I think is really powerful. There was someone that I was coaching, and this was very challenging because I often have to share hard truths that feel unkind, even though I know they're not. And this person's like, okay, tell me what to do. And we listed it all out. They want to lose weight. They're trying to break a certain amount of weight. I used to be a fitness coach. I've done it many times. And I said, here's the thing. You can try to do all these things. I can give you this list. However, I got to ask 2 questions. One is, how bad do you actually want to be in shape? Meaning, is this unbearable, the fact that you're not? And the answer is often no, I actually don't care that much. Okay, well then you're screwed because you're trying to shoot for something that you don't care that much. Imagine me and Kev being like, you know what, it's 7:45 p.m. on October 28th on a Monday. And I don't really care that much, man, about doing this episode, so I'm going to take off. You have to be really in it. You have to be really committed. And I'm not talking fortune cookie committed. I'm talking 746. I can barely talk because I've been at it all day committed. That's one. And then the second piece of that, and this is the self-discipline one. So this one's the hardest for me. And I'll get back to the framework in a sec. But I said, I can give you a list of what to do, but the truth is you're not going to do it unless you do this other thing. Can we talk about the other thing? And they said, yeah. I said, here's the truth. 0 to 10, where's your self-discipline? This is the mirror time. Because I can give you a list. It doesn't matter. You can Google how to lose weight. It doesn't matter. If you don't have self-discipline, if you can't get yourself to do hard things that you don't want to do and build it slowly over time, it doesn't really matter what I tell you. So that's what we have to work on. We have to work on self-discipline, and you can build it, and that's another episode. So goals, metrics, habits, skills. Self-discipline is a skill. I know a lot of people don't think about it that way, but it's a skill. Kevin has it. If he didn't, we'd be screwed. And he would not be my business partner, no matter how much I love him and like him. It doesn't matter. If you don't have self-discipline, you can't be my business partner. Okay? And we would never have gotten here. We would never have gotten
interview.
here. We need to be very clear about that. I think that's important. But
I agree.
The last one is identity, and we've done a lot of work on that as well.
What's the most important?
The first one, the last one, identity. Because
how do you
can't
know?
Set goals.
How do you know if you don't have the identity?
I think one of the reasons most people don't achieve their goals is because they set them based on a idealized version of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, you put $2 million on your vision board for net worth. You didn't even know what net worth was. Now, here's the thing, chicken or egg.
Well, in my vision board was also a cork board with just pieces of paper on it. So there wasn't a lot of vision to it. I read about it I think I heard in a secret. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, that sounds good. I have a cork board and I have some college ruled notebooks. Let me rip out 6 pieces of paper and just throw them up there. And that was where it started.
Got you started.
Yeah, got me started.
So here's the chicken or egg issue. And here's the philosophical question. Would you have gotten here had you not put that $2 million vision on your corkboard? And by $2 million, I mean a crumpled piece of paper with a Sharpie that says 2M with a dollar sign.
I don't know.
And then an even deeper question is, if I didn't see that vision, would I have stuck around to try to help you achieve it?
Yeah.
And that's why I can't tell you what's the most important, because the hard truth is you need all 5. But I would say you need the vision and the identity, and they're very connected, because someone without the identity usually doesn't create the vision.
I think that is the hard thing. Next Level Nation, what is happening? If you've thought to yourself, I want to try coaching, but you don't really know where to start, group coaching would be a wonderful place for you. That's really why we created it in the first place. We start a new round every 90 days. So if you're hearing this, go to the website, nextleveluniverse.com, and we have the landing page where you can actually hold your spot right now. Even if there's a group going on right now, you can still lock your spot for the next one. The biggest thing that we've seen is as we get closer and closer to the date, unfortunately, some people end up missing. The group fills up and they can't do it, and then they end up regretting that. So please head over to the website. The link will be in the show notes, and we would love to see you there. We started with this, and again, I don't want to continue visiting it, but I think one of the things that's so hard about self-improvement is there isn't one answer. That's the hard thing, is it depends. It depends. Are you consistently doing the things that you know you should be doing in order to accomplish the goal? The advice is different. It's completely different. If you are just starting, the advice is different than if you've been doing it for 5 years. But if I forget what it was like to just start, my advice is going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be terrible. And sometimes I go on other podcasts and I don't feel like I'm adding value because I keep saying it depends. I know you're looking for an answer. It depends. It really depends. It depends on so many things. I can give you some relative fundamentals, but it depends. Yeah, some people need to believe in themselves.
The goal.
It depends on the goal, the person, the environment, the circumstances,
the money in your bank account,
all of it.
A good decision with 50 grand in the bank immediately becomes a bad decision with 2 grand in the bank. You're absolutely right. It completely depends. And that's why one-on-one coaching is so powerful.
If
with the right coach.
Yes. If Grant Cardone said if you're a business owner that has 50 employees and you only make $400,000 a year, you're probably going to go out of business. Okay, that's fair.
That is fair.
That's a fair statement.
Yeah, you're definitely going to go out of business.
Right? But that's different than saying, well, you should feel like a loser if you don't make X amount of dollars. No. That's not.
Yeah, it's blanket statement.
Yeah,
it's
not
customized.
Real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not constructive. It's not meant to facilitate change.
Same with if it's meant for you, you couldn't possibly screw it up. That isn't useful.
No,
it's not useful. Okay, imagine I said, Kev, if it's not meant for you, you couldn't possibly screw it up anyway. What's going to change in his life with that advice?
If it's not meant for me?
Yeah, if it's not meant for you, oh, wait, my bad. I screwed it up.
Yeah.
Of course I did. I don't remember the freaking principle because it's not a principle. It's not real. Kev, if it's meant for you, you couldn't possibly screw it up.
Right.
All right, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do with that? Go manifest your dreams with that.
I'm going to stop trying. That's what I would just stop trying. It's like, well, it doesn't matter.
The moment there's frustration, the moment there's challenge, the moment it doesn't work out immediately, it's not meant to be.
It's not meant to be. And guess what? I'd be single. And I wouldn't have a business, and I wouldn't be in good shape.
You definitely wouldn't work with me.
I wouldn't work with you. What? No. There's a difference between something being deeply challenging but also deeply meaningful to you and something being challenging that isn't worth it. All that is a question of is it worth it or not.
Mm-hmm.
If it's worth it, then it's worth it to overcome it. It's worth it to work through it. It's worth it to deal with what it brings internally. If it's not worth it, you say, it's not worth it. It's not. There are some fears that you don't have to face. Oh, you're afraid of snakes? Okay, cool. Okay, you don't have to face it necessarily.
And don't watch Indiana Jones.
Don't go to Australia. Probably. I heard I know we have some folks in Australia. I don't know if I'm off on that, but I know it's a dangerous place to live. If you want to.
Rattlesnakes in Arizona, man.
Rattlesnakes in Arizona?
Oh, yeah.
We have
seen them.
We have
actually ate rattlesnake once. It was weird. Snake and eggs.
Timber rattlesnakes, I think, in New England. One of the gentlemen who got invited to the bachelor party is not coming because he's afraid of flying. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to come.
However,
he's missing out.
Yep. Potentially. But it's not worth it to him.
If it's not worth it to him, then just like I'm afraid of flying, but overcoming the fear of flying is worth it to me. Doesn't mean it's not meant for me or it's meant for me. Neither of them. It just means if I want to do certain things, I'm going to have to overcome it. So again, I don't want it to be a bashing session on stuff like that. I don't know. It makes me sad because oftentimes I'll talk to someone who resonates with that advice. I'm not saying that advice can't be good in a season, but if that becomes the fundamental, I think you're in trouble. I just do. I just do. Because you're competing against people who use that in a season, but then use it's a tool for a time. I don't think it's a philosophy for long-term success, fulfillment, and improvement, is what I would say.
Agreed. Here's what I will tell you. Clear goals with sound metrics, with constructive habits, and developing the right skills in alignment with the identity you not only currently have, but also aspire to achieve the goal will always work. Eventually, if you give it enough time and you work at it, that will work. That's good advice. But saying it is going to work no matter what, or it's not going to work no matter what, or you're amazing if X and you're a loser if Y, none of that is useful. And I really do like the self-driving car analogy metaphor. I think it's powerful. If the car has inaccurate data, it'll drive you off a cliff on accident and it won't know why. When in reality, it just didn't know that was a cliff. It thought it was a road. And I think that advice like that is unintentionally misguiding people. And they're either blaming the government or blaming themselves or blaming other people, when in reality, it's just inaccurate data, and if I go into the jungle and I know nothing about the jungle, I'm probably going to die.
Most likely. You ever seen Anaconda?
Yeah, man.
You might get slurped up by that thing.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. I actually really like that movie.
It's honestly, I think it's
Underrated, right?
J-Lo? J-Lo, Ice Cube,
Yeah.
John Lithgow.
John
I think
Voight.
his name is.
John
Voight.
John Voight.
Who's John Lithgow?
Owen Wilson's
John
in that
Lithgow's.
too.
Yeah. Owen Wilson's in that?
Yeah, man.
Didn't know that.
I enjoyed that movie.
Isn't Vince Vaughn in that?
It's a guilty pleasure. No.
There's somebody else.
Apparently, I know this movie inside out. No, definitely not. There is someone else though. Ice Cube. This is useless. It's a useless conversation. I just had this moment.
It's a great movie.
It was a thriller.
I remember
I thought it was good.
When I was in middle school, when I stayed home sick from school one day, and I ate that while watching. I ate that. I watched that while eating Campbell's soup.
You know what made you say that? I
Eating
ate rattlesnake. Yeah, I ate that while watching Campbell's soup.
I don't know if you know this about me. I had a very heavy reptile phase. I was into snakes. Like, I knew everything. I knew everything about the boas and the Burmese pythons and the reticulated pythons and anaconda. I knew everything about snakes.
Why?
Loved them.
Why?
Because I'm afraid of the same reason I love learning about flying, because I'm terrified of them. I love learning about what I'm scared of because it makes me less afraid.
That's very cool.
And I remember I went somewhere and I held a boa around my neck, a Burmese python. It was massive.
You have a picture of that, yeah?
I was somewhere. My mom probably does. I was young.
We got to get that photo because that'll be good for a meetup or something.
I was young.
Face your fears. Real quick story, tiny story. Remember
wait,
we had
wait, I'm not done. Real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, super quick. I also had a dinosaur phase where I knew everything.
Yeah, Land Before Time.
No,
Jurassic Park.
No, I'm talking real shit, man. Not these dumbass movies. I'm talking, I had books and I had figures about the Brontosaurus and the pterodactyl. I had these things that you would, I was like maybe 7 years old. They were like foam and you could put them in water and they would grow and expand. You had those?
The 90s were wild, yeah.
90s were wild.
Yeah, I did have those.
It's the end of my story.
You and I
and whales and sharks. Sorry, real quick. Whales and sharks. I knew
all your fears.
I knew so much about whale sharks and tiger sharks and hammerhead sharks and great white sharks and mako sharks.
The hammerhead sharks were scary.
They are very scary.
Scary.
Whale sharks, biggest shark on the planet, harmless. Doesn't eat people. Eats plankton.
Doesn't eat people.
Wild.
You're funny. Snapping turtles, which I can only assume they eat people. Okay, so real quick.
I'm done.
We apologize. We apologize in advance for wasting everyone's time.
Yep.
Self-improvement podcast about Kevin's passions growing up. So we went to the same middle school.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Do you remember? We were both in middle school, although I'm pretty sure I was in 8th grade or something. There was a high school talent. No, hypnotist. Hypnotist came in. You with me? Hypnotist came in. Remember the auditorium? Okay. Mm-hmm. I pretended to be hypnotized as a little kid. They put a massive snake on me while I was pretending to be hypnotized. And on the drive home, my mom and stepdad are, don't worry, you'll remember tomorrow. It's like, no. I was awake the whole time. I obviously had you guys convinced. So that was my first acting audition. I pretended to be hypnotized. And the snake, I almost broke character. I almost did, but I didn't. I hung in there. Yeah. That was grit.
What kind of snake was it? Probably gotta had to be a python.
Huge python. Yeah. Huge python.
They're harmless for the most part.
Can't they wrap around you, kill you?
When there are people, not when there's people around you, really. If you're by yourself, yeah. Yeah, if you're by yourself.
Again, it was what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is, in fact. That's why I loved anacondas, dude. 25-foot snake. What? What? Imagine a snake next to a bus, and the snake is like more than half the length of the bus. What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's going to be a hard no, man. It's definitely.
That is wild stuff.
And now back to our regular scheduled programming of
this would be a good commercial. Taryn wants to go shark diving in a cage.
Do it, man. Do it.
I want to do it, but I also don't want to do it at all.
Yeah, I don't think Emilia has any. I know she has a lot of bucket list stuff. We got some good stuff we're gonna do. Mountain climbing. We climbed Monadnock yesterday.
I can imagine the bucket list is you have like you guys' bucket list is a small bucket. It's like a little. It's like a very little bucket.
Little bucket. We climbed Monadnock and it was gonna get dark, so we had to hammer.
Please stop.
We did a 2-hour hike, 37 minutes.
Please stop telling me.
Hammered it. It was good. The way up, the way down, we took our time. We relaxed. We're fine. We have bear spray. It's all good.
I don't trust you because you're reckless.
Yeah, but she's the voice of reason.
Not at all. Maybe more reckless even somehow. You know,
she was the voice of reason yesterday.
Well, I respect that.
We're on our way up, and the ranger stops us. Says, "Hey, you guys going up?" No, we're not going up. Right? Yeah, of course we're going up. We're hammering. So you guys got flashlights? We're like, "Yep, right here, baby." He's like, "What is that? What does this mean?" And then, dude, I kid you not, Kevin, this will be fun. Someone came in on the walkie-talkie. It's gonna be getting dark soon or something like. He's like, that doesn't be a 27B74 or something. I swear to God, I'm losing it. I'm laughing inside. Right, just let us go. We have to go now. It's time for us to go.
What was this?
This is Mount Everest.
Was this cell phone?
He said, "Was this mean cell phone?" He's like, "Those aren't real flashlights. You got to get a headlamp or whatever." I'm like, don't worry about it. We're fine.
I respect it, man.
Yeah,
these are not real cell phones.
We call them Old Man River is what we call them. But we handled it. It was fine. It was light by the time we got home. He didn't understand how quick we can climb this thing.
With the quickness?
With the quickness. I said, we're athletes. We're fine.
Well, his thing was these two are going to get stuck. We're going to have to come back. I'm going to be at home having tea with the family. I'm going to have to come pick these nimrods up on the side of the mountain.
I understand.
I
understand. We had a blast. It was awesome up there. Monadnock, shout out. It's not far from you.
I'm not out here trying to hike. Yeah, no, I'm good. Thank you.
Is Taryn like the hike?
Nah. No.
Good view. Monadnock was good. I enjoyed it.
We have great views on the internet, too. Pull up a picture of the top of Monadnock. Not a problem. Same thing. Same stuff. Don't even have to go outside.
All right. For any of our listeners out there, you're with me on that one. Come on.
I'm sure most
I drove through the Rockies, man. It's not even close on the pictures. The pictures sucked.
I've never been
way
to the
back
Rockies,
in 2011 or something.
Yeah, because it's changed so much.
The cameras were not great.
Because the mountains have changed so much.
The
since
cameras
2011.
have.
Oh, okay.
The cameras have.
All right, we're gonna go. We gotta go.
I
feel like you and I could do this. This is fun. I enjoy this.
One more tiny thing. We're wasting
please.
Okay. We've been watching the Mission Impossible series. I know. Okay, I know you don't with Tom Cruise stuff. It's all good. Here's my deal. We tried watching the first one. Can't do it. Too old.
The picture's terrible.
Tech. I can't even believe the tech.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
My favorite thing in movies
96.
is zoom and enhance. It's not real. You can't do that. You can't zoom and enhance. It doesn't work that way. And once you know that, you can't. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they just slide it right under your nose. A zoom and enhance, and somehow the picture is better zoomed in than it was. It doesn't work that way. Maybe one day, but probably not, though.
Emilia got me a new projector for our anniversary. Dude.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about zoom enhance? This thing, I can point it at I'm not going to explain the whole thing, but it figures out the exact focus, and it's awesome. It's unbelievable. It's awesome. And the Dolby Digital surround sound without surround sound, awesome. Huge game changer, man. It's like a Amazon Fire TV, but projector. Dude, it's unfreaking believable. Much better than the piece of crap she bought me last time.
Oh, that's fire. I can be down there by 9:30 latest. Be down there an hour and 20. I'm gonna fire something.
Dude,
up.
I got to show you this thing at some point. I'll take a picture of it or something.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
See, it started. I can't wait to show you this, man. I'll fire over a JPEG image of it here shortly. You know what I mean? We live an hour and a half away. Not even an hour and a half.
It was a dream come true, man. Home theater. Best gift I've ever gotten. Swear to God. Best gift I've ever gotten.
I'm truly jealous.
If you want to know what it is, reach out. Seriously, I don't sell these things, I promise. But I will tell you, this thing's awesome.
And it's also not $1 million.
No, it was very affordable. $297 or something.
I don't want people
one.
I don't want people to think that you're balling.
No, we're doing okay, but we're not. What are we doing here?
When people say
$1,500 projector.
Well, that's a lot of people try to flex on that. Yeah, my love just bought me a projector. 200 inches.
1.5 mil.
I got lost in it. I was in the theater the other day. I got lost in it. I couldn't even find my way out.
No, but this thing's awesome, man.
All right, we're going to go.
Yep.
You down with that?
Yeah.
It was reptiles, dinosaurs, sharks. Okay, make sure I didn't miss anything here.
Mountain climbing, projectors. Technology, Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Old Man River.
Yeah, that was funny.
I don't even know who
That'll be a 27B64. I'm like, what does that mean? What are you telling them? We're going to the top of this mountain, sir.
All right, Next Level Nation, if you are looking for a Facebook group that talks about some of the stuff that we talked about today, like the self-improvement stuff, we have a Facebook group called Next Level Nation that's all about that. If you're looking for reptiles, rattlesnakes, snake is a reptile, sharks and dinosaurs, that'll be an upcoming Facebook group that we create. Maybe it'll be like Kevin's Creations Facebook group. I feel like that's got a nice little ring to it. And then we can do, at some point, we'll do Lazarus Outdoor Expeditions Facebook group. And Alan will have all of his hikes, trials, and tribulations in there.
7 mountains, man.
7 mountains.
7 mountains.
7 mountains. So we'll have all of those in the show notes. But only one's real so far.
Yeah, and only one will probably ever be real.
Most likely, yeah.
If you want to align your goals, metrics, habits, skills, and identity with, your goals, your dreams, this has been fun. Reach out, please. Favorite work in the world. It's what I do. I know that I can help. I would love to help. Please reach out. DM me and/or click the link in the show notes.
And a little freestyle, a little different before we get out of here. I know this one was a little bit different, but to me, this is what heart-driven but no BS is. Heart-driven, we genuinely want you to win. Genuinely. I want you to win. I want you to be the most fulfilled, successful, aligned in love, financially successful, relationshiply successful, all of that stuff of all time. That's heart-driven. But the no BS is I will not lie to you about what it'll take to get there. From my perspective, again, I don't know everything. I don't know. Feeling good, like hearing content that makes you feel good is important. But I think that changes your mood, not necessarily your life. And that's all. I want to just end on that. I don't want you to think we're beating anybody up because that's not the intention. But I also don't want you to get beat up proverbially in this example. All right. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
We understand if you don't reach out.